Hey everybody, this is Amanda Davis, owner and founder of Business Solutions by Design, your accounting ally. Coming back to talk to you this week in October about all things scary. And one of the most scary things that you can hear about in business or in finance is the F word. And I'm talking about fraud. Fraud happens all the time, and you know about it, right? You get the call from Microsoft or the IRS or Social Security, and they're gonna arrest you because something happened, you're money laundering or whatever fake news. In your email, you're gonna be inundated by all this noise, but in business, how do you separate like what fraud does to business? They're not, as a small business, you think, I'm not a target, right? That's not true. You're actually a large target. And your accountants are a bigger target because they got lots of you in one place, right? So there's lots of things to consider there when it comes to fraud, but the thing that I wanted to talk to you about this week is reporting it. Would you know that most small businesses that have fraud committed against them do not persecute? They do not go after the person who committed the fraud against them. Why is that? Why are we not taking action, standing up and doing whatever it is we need to do to make sure this doesn't happen again? How in the world are we just being like, it's cool, I was defrauded, it's all right, we don't need to worry about that? And a lot of businesses tend to do that, and that's not really I'm making it sound more nonchalant than it really is. In many cases, what happens is, say something happened and the business is like, yeah, I kind of want to make sure that never happens to somebody ever again, or that you do the right thing and prosecute. You go forward and you talk to an attorney about it, and there are so many cases that the cost to prosecute these people who commit fraud against you, if you know who they are and you can get access to them and prove it, say you do all that, and you go to your attorney, you're like, hey dude, I want to do something about this, let's go. Well, the problem is that in so many cases, the cost to take care of that, to prosecute, is actually higher than whatever you would get out of it. Isn't that crazy? So you have to come out of pocket, you have to walk away from your business long enough to sit there and go through whatever it is, a trial, whatever it could be. And at the end of the day, you spent more time and money going after this and living with this and reliving with this, I guess you can say. And at the end of the day, you're coming out negative. You're upside down on this whole thing. That just seems crazy, but it happens all too often. So sometimes the cost can be a barrier to making sure that fraud is prosecuted and properly reported. Another reason is if a small business or even a larger business, a medium-sized whatever, is defrauded in some way, and you make a criminal complaint, right? You go talk to the police or whatever. That then becomes public. And that right there sometimes is enough to prevent somebody from moving forward, because they don't want their customers and their competition and everybody else that they do business with or has anything to do with their branding efforts, I guess you could say, associated with that. Hey, we got screwed over, and we let that happen. And now everybody who wants to know can go find out, and that's public. And so that can also be a barrier. It's really, I find this very interesting, kind of a discussion, and it's like, there's no way, you got screwed over, you're gonna go do the right thing, you're gonna report it, but if you're gonna come out of pocket at the end of the day, you're gonna be underwater with your time, your money, if that's gonna hurt your branding efforts or potentially cause customers to not wanna do business with you because you allowed a fraud to happen, or because, that could be the conception, you allowed it to happen. There's so many negative things, and then you get down to when it's somebody that you trust. It's an employee or it's a partner or somebody that you trust. and they did something to hurt you. Well, are you really going to go put your family member, your friend, the grandma that you've been doing business with for 20 years, oh God, she's sweet as sugar. You know, she took 20 grand from you, but you know, it was for a good reason, or her grandson got in an accident and everybody's down on their stuff, and if she would have came to you, you'd have given it to her anyway. Are you going to go send those people to jail? And in many cases, the answer works out to be a no. And sometimes it's all of these things combined, and you're looking at it going, this doesn't make sense for me to do it. So then they handle it internally and privately, and that's how the fraud is dealt with. So this happens every day, and it's eye-opening. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic, and if you have any stories of maybe a business that did have fraud happen to them and they didn't report it, maybe if they would be comfortable anonymously, telling a situation about a company where there's no company details or whatever, if they would like to stay private, but to have that story, a real life case of, this actually happened, and this was actually the circumstances, and this was why whatever decisions was made about it. So that'd be kind of fun. Anyway, food for thought. This is Amanda Davis, owner and founder of Business Solutions by Design, your accounting ally. We'll be coming back to you to talk about the F word again next week.